November 18th, 2022.
It's recording. It's recording.
We would like to formally introduce you guys all to the Standard Issue Podcast, featuring myself, Jimmy Gorecki, and Standard Issue founder, Jarod J. Lee. Jarod?
Hello. Hi.
Jarod is extremely nervous right now.
Yeah, I feel very uncomfortable.
He's treating this like a job interview. I'm the boss. He thinks he's coming in to apply for a position, and that is not that. And the funny thing is, this whole thing was his idea, not mine.
No.
So,
yeah. I don't know.
So, Standard Issue Tees, welcome everybody. We are 5 years into the business. I myself have been working with Jarod since March of 2018. However, he's been working on this thing diligently since the beginning of 2017.
Yes.
So 5 years plus in the game, t-shirts, sweatsuits, thermals, shorts, outerwear, shoes, LeBron James.
Yep.
And now we're here, Jarod.
We're here.
And we have a podcast to go with our t-shirts. So, I guess the first thing we'll say is, why Standard Issue? Why the name Standard Issue?
I would say, that comes from my military background. I felt that doing clothes, and for so long, it's just t-shirts are basic uniforms. So I thought that the name was. It's a fucking good name, man.
It is a good name. It's a good name. It's a very good name. Yeah. It's so good that so many brands want to use it right now. So.
Oh yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that on another episode. But so you get the name. Now you got to move into the product.
Yep.
What was the first thing on your mind?
T-shirts. Making t-shirts. I've been making t-shirts for 18 plus years now, and I don't think I've ever bought a t-shirt. I think I've always made my own tees, and just years and years of working with different type of fabric, I think I just kind of put everything that I like together in one, which is our standard tee.
So when you say 18 years, you get done high school, you're like, I'm going to get into clothing manufacturing, or as a family thing. How did you fall into this industry, to that occupation?
Oh, yeah. So my family's been in the garment industry for a very long time. I think my grandfather since the 50s. They're all in textile back in South Korea. So when they immigrated over, they were in downtown jobbers. And after high school, I went to the Marine Corps.
Downtown
Los
Angeles.
Yeah, downtown Los Angeles.
Gotcha.
Yeah, after high school, I went to the Marine Corps and then went to college. Started my own business in college. Went down the drain real quick. And then after school, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And then my dad's like, oh, come work at the factory. So I think that's kind of where it all started.
So service member.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it a hand for all of our service members, including Jarod J. Lee. My sister was in the United States Army as well, too. So
nice.
Thank you.
And you got the camo on too.
Yeah. See. So yeah, the name,
Yep.
the T-shirt,
Yep.
your background, getting into it. I guess because So for those that don't know, Jarod and I met in 2012. I wanted to start something. I didn't know what it was going to be. It was just going to be about sweatpants. And a friend of mine, Nick Terche, he's got a clothing company called Diamond Supply Co. I go to Nick. I say, Nick, I want to make sweatpants. He goes, meet Kelly. Kelly Mustafa is doing production for him. She goes, I got a guy out in Vernon you should meet. So I take some sweatpants out to Jarod. I don't know anything about making clothes, designing clothes. I still don't know anything about that stuff. I come and meet Jarod. Where's the diamond stuff at? I don't make diamond. Kelly just thought we could link up to some degree. So Jarod makes the sweatpants for me. We do JSP for a couple years, and we have a lot of fun doing it, and personally enjoy one another's company, working together, good synergy.
Then our kids came along.
Kids come along, business, life, whatever, family. We stay in communication though, and then he goes, yo, Jimmy, I want to start this thing. And he goes, I'm going to send a package to your house. And this box shows up at my front door with these beautifully packaged t-shirts. White, black, heather gray, single packs, 3 packs. And I'm like, for one, I come from an era of you go to the you go to the corner store and get your white tees.
Yep.
And then as I got a little bit older, had a couple bucks in my pocket. Wow, Stafford to me at the time, J.C. Penney's department store makes the best T-shirt, and I would just go buy
packs and
packs of them. Yeah, so and then you move along. I introduced American Apparel, and I'm like, this is a great thing. It's all it's your basics, your T-shirts, your zip-ups, your hoodies, in all the different colors that you want. So when this box that Jarod sends me shows up and I see this assortment, that's where my mind immediately went. I was like, wow, having worked with Jarod and seeing how good he is at making stuff, and then and then knowing his character, his follow through, the packaging. I saw all of the amazing things I know about him in this package of T-shirts. So
you're so sweet.
That was yeah, that was early mid 2017.
Yep.
And then you had some skaters on board helping you, which obviously that made me smile. Walker Ryan and Sebo.
Yep.
And I think, but I guess you could explain that. So at that point, I wasn't working here full time with you. So I'm just curious, kind of see what was your train of thought during that time period, getting things moving. Were you still doing other private label stuff, or exactly. how was the brand? How was it for you getting the brand up off the ground?
So, we still have and had a lot of private label business during that time. So the purpose of creating a T-shirt brand was to mainly have our factory constantly running, regardless if we had orders from other customers or not. So that was originally the main goal. So obviously, like when we started, it was T-shirts, and then I think a hoodie came out and sweatpants came out. So it was pretty slow. And then I think as soon as COVID hit, it literally just put us all in fast forward, right?
Yeah.
So, originally the idea was to kind of build it out slow and just produce things that we like. And then once COVID hit and customers started, all my private label business just went down the drain like overnight.
Gotcha.
So we just that's when you and I we just sat down and we're like, we got to go.
What was interesting was, so I remember I started here in March of 18, and at that point had T-shirts, had thermals, had sweatsuits, and I remember the first couple of months thinking, all right, Jarod, I asked you to turn your phone off.
Tyler.
I'm just kidding. Now I remember thinking, we'll give this 6 to 9 months, and
yes,
I think once I really get my feet wet here, we'll be able to start, seeing some momentum. June of 2018, we get a beautifully written article in Esquire for Esquire endorsements, which I at the time I didn't know if those were paid promotional pieces that big brands, they cut the check to Esquire to put together. I didn't know what they were. Let me take my jacket off. It's fake cold in Los Angeles right now. So, but I wake up one morning and on our website, the traffic was like, wow, we're a real company right now. But what I thought what was amazing was the article that the gentleman at Esquire had written about the T-shirt that you had made.
Yeah.
It's because like at that point, you see how amazing design is in fashion. So it's like we're talking about a T-shirt, the most basic, old.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the most basic thing.
It's like to win anybody over, like, it's not the deepest thing, but to see that article, and the T-shirt that Brando would have wore, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that specific little milestone?
Oh, I think I remember we're right outside right in front of the factory, and we're just like, I think I was having a cigarette. I looked at you and I'm just like, what is wrong with this website right now? Because it was just like something that we've never seen, right? So it really kind of put it like, okay, like this has legs, and I think people are really into the shirts. I know there's a lot of people who don't like our shirts. Some people like thin, some people like slim, boxy, or whatever. But I think for someone, I think just for someone like you and I who are, just kind of grew up around the same era, so on and so forth, I think it touches all the points that we were always looking for in this t-shirt. So, yeah, this kind of just, I guess when that happened, it just kind of like.
Well, I think when you had asked me to come on board, my vision was always, I think, like I said, when I look at a company like an American Apparel, and I know what place American Apparel has played in my closet, has played in my in my outfits over the years.
Yeah.
When you need these core pieces that you can fill your closet or dresser with, and they're reliable. There's no branding interference. There's no logo interference. They're clean. You get, because I think everybody, you move past a place of where, there's times and places for real nutty, wacky clothing, but then on a regular basis, you need your staple items.
You need your basics, yeah.
And that's what, I always imagined Standard Issue was like, with the best t-shirt available in every color, the best hoodie available in every color, the best sweatpant available in every color, and then to kind of grow from there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a really cool milestone, that Esquire piece. So.
Yeah, that was like the beginning.
Yeah,
almost.
It was June of 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Mm. So, it's a trip too, because I've been coming to the facility since 2012, so I've seen sewing line. I've seen it grow. Yeah. I've seen it shrink. I've seen it. I see everything around here change. I've seen it change so many times over the years. I think that's the one thing that gets missed out, is that, especially for how many essential or basic brands out there, this is something that you've been developing the entire time yourself in here. So it's like, it's like a bakery. You make the stuff and you get it right, onto the website. It's like, as soon as it's done, it's up for the customer to purchase. Yeah. So, it's not just like, this isn't like you just been buying some like bullshit clothing from somewhere else. And throwing it up there for people. So,
and it's obviously we're not, we're very, what do you call it? Like, non-traditional, I guess you would say. Like, we're very untraditional when it comes to like the way we release our products. Mm-hmm. and
we don't have collections that we're able to shoot like intricate lookbooks on. We're not, I don't think we'd ever try to sell anybody for amazingly packaged photos or anything. It's really the product. It's the process of the product. Mm-hmm. And the end result of that process. And I think that's what people get. And there's a large amount of people that are within our customer base that I think really understand that and appreciate it. And they've ridden with us some of them from that first Esquire piece. Some from the second Esquire piece on the thermal, which was also another brilliant piece that, like, the first time I tried on, I'm like, what is this big drapey but sturdy husky sweater? And you're like, it's a thermal. And I'm like, this is not a thermal. And you're like, but look at the pat. That waffle is it is a traditional thermal.
We definitely have the best thermal on the market.
That was another. And that second Esquire piece was another milestone. So
I love our thermals.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So that takes us through 18.
Yep.
Intermittently, we drop some JSP stuff in there.
Yep.
And then.
And that was that JSP piece was like, like that kind of started with all the family and friends products that I started making first too.
Yeah.
I think that's where we were able to kind of bring it back.
So for those that don't know, JSP is Jimmy Sweatpants. That's a passion project that Jarod and I have kind of conceptualized together, and it's just, I don't even know if it's a clothing brand. It's more just like ideas.
It's ideas that come to life, I guess. Yeah.
And then a lot of them they've connected through various things, whether it's some food, some skateboards, some different things,
Yeah.
planes, vans, Amoroso rolls,
Yeah.
different things. So, um, LeBron James.
LeBron James.
So, I'm curious because, I mean, still to this day, we're very fortunate. This is one of, if not the biggest athletes of our time. That's been a massive supporter of the brand via his closest friend Randy Mims, and despite how many times he's worn it, every time to me it still feels like the first time.
It does. Yep.
So for somebody like yourself, I'm curious. How did you receive that? How do your family and friends receive that?
Everybody trips out. It's funny because I'm so like, what is that? Like the opposite. I don't watch any. I barely watch sports. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I'm literally just in my office every day, just working. That's kind of, so when I see something like that, it's amazing because it's something very, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it.
That's for everybody. Jarod is the first one here and generally the last one to go. So, I think for him to see, I think like anything else, it's about the energy and the effort that you put forth. I'm the type of person, you just keep shooting shots. You keep going. You're gonna hear no 10 times a day. At the end of the week, you have heard no 100 times. Within that realm of no's, something's gonna slide through. That was a result of that energy that you put forth. So, and now look, LeBron, Chris Paul,
guys,
Kawhi Leonard, one of my favorite, Tyrese Maxey, Bryce Harper, Jalen Hurts. That's an amazing roster of athletes that have backed the brand. Lena Waithe, some pretty awesome people, man. So
sure.
I think
I'm sure we missed a lot.
You got to tap yourself on the for sure. And to anyone that we might not acknowledge, I apologize right now. But we appreciate it. We really, really appreciate it.
For sure.
So I guess moving along, like you said, pandemic.
Yep.
I remember sitting here the first week of the pandemic, like, well.
Yeah, I remember like what the.
Adios, everybody.
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
I guess we'll figure this out. I'm gonna start tapping into savings and start looking for a new job, everybody.
So the pandemic happened, and then I think within within a week, we were able to
open back up,
repurpose everything that we have, and we just started banging out masks.
Yep.
And I think the first article, because I think everybody were looking for masks, so I think the first article that came out was Complex.
Complex?
That was the first one.
But you had Complex, you had Esquire, and you had GQ, all within a 2 or 3 day period.
Wall Street too, I think.
That had posted our mask pretty high up the list.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where we. That's how we survived, obviously, right? And
some backstory: Jarod's father, going back to actually December, had been encouraging us to start repurposing our T-shirt cotton into masks.
Yeah.
He kept saying it. Your dad was adamant about it.
Yeah.
So we, I don't think like everybody, at least speaking on myself, I didn't know what was about to happen.
Nobody knew.
And Jarod goes, I'm going to make the masks. And I'm like, all right, well then let me do this. My daughter spent some time in the NICU at UCLA. At the time, it was pretty well known that a lot of medical facilities had such limited resources, had such limited masks and supplies. So I called her primary care nurse at the time. She said, I'm working at a facility in Whittier.
PIH Health.
Whatever you got, Jimmy. So I said, Jarod, how many you got at the time? I think he said about 5,000. So I said, cool. Let me get that 5,000. You cut these goddamn T-shirts up. I don't know. Whatever, I don't know. We couldn't get masks at that point. So let me just get them to Linda. After that, you make as many damn masks as you need.
Yeah.
And get them to Linda. and then the next thing you know, yep, those 3 articles, and that literally saved
Good.
our business.
It saved our business, and like, it was busy, dude.
I think the commendable thing during that time period too was that if Jarod couldn't ship an order within 1 or 2 days, he immediately shut down the availability. Because I don't know if everybody remembers, but like that. I mean, obviously that was such a heightened time.
Yeah.
You know, and I think his thinking was, look, I'm not trying to take people's money during this time period without knowing where this item that they need to go about their day to day is right now. So if I can't send that order out within a day or two, availability shut down. Sewing lines moving, cranking around the clock, and it would only be available when he knew he could get the orders out.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought that was really cool of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, what a time.
Yeah, what a time.
That
right?
was scary.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that was like a whole, like, how long did that? Like 3 months, yeah, 2-3 months.
Yeah, March, April, May, and then in June was like, I think around May or June, people really realized like, oh, we're not just home for a couple months. Like we're home.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I think at that point, then
That's when the whole sweatsuit.
yeah,
thing
and
went.
we started at that point. We were releasing 2 new sweatsuit colors, every Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah, for like almost
For
2 years.
for a minute, man.
Yeah.
For a minute.
Yeah,
You know, so. You know.
it's still going.
And I think we had a lot of awesome special projects lined up. I think what was awesome was that through all of that, we didn't lose a single one.
Mm-hmm.
Planes stayed on track. Ice Cream stayed on track. Huff stayed on track. All these cool collaborative projects that we had in the works, none of them, you know, we didn't lose any of them.
Yeah.
Vans
Yeah.
stayed in, stayed cranking. There was a lot of hard work during that time period. A lot of
dude.
stress, you know.
Heck yeah. Yeah,
If
man.
we had a beer, we could cheers right now to that, to making
I actually put one in the
to
fridge.
making it through that. Yeah. That's so funny.
I actually put one in the fridge.
So that finds you in this year,
This year, yeah.
2022, which I will say
What a rough year, man.
this year has been, I say personally speaking, I've had in the past 10, 15 years, some years that were super high and some years that were super low.
Yeah,
And this one had so many highs and so many lows.
that's right.
And I guess those highs are what make you realize, like, you might think your low is low, but
Yeah,
how fortunate you actually are.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying? Like the shit that we have to, the things that we have to complain about probably aren't. I mean, I guess they're the hardships in their own context,
Mhm.
but 22.
it was just rough, man. And I don't know what it was.
It felt like it took a lot to get through the first couple of months.
For
I don't know why I felt like we had it took a lot of energy to thug through it, but then it's almost like you launched 22 with this beautifully filmed NBA collection
Mm-hmm.
that was created here and shot here.
Yep.
Maxie, Chris Paul,
Mm-hmm.
Alex's film created a beautiful spot. I don't know if you ever looked at our Instagram and our YouTube or website, please go see the film that Alex Sachs made for our NBA collection. Same day that comes out, I'm in London. I wake up in the morning, my phone is exploding. We make a sweatsuit for the Brooklyn Museum.
That's right. Jay-Z's wearing it
Where?
at the game,
Where is the game at?
at the Nets game, no?
Where do the Nets play at?
In Brooklyn.
Where's Jay-Z from?
Brooklyn.
Like talk about a moment where all the stars are aligning.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, for
that
sure.
that was insane. So as tough as it took those first couple of months, and then you get to that and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like something in the universe is patting you on the back,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like, yeah, like you're creating this that you know. For me, I'm the biggest Hove fan ever.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I grew up on every Hove album. Still do. Still listen to all of anything new, anything, you know, and then everything. So to me, that was such an awesome thing. It was like 15, 16-year-old kid in me is geeking out just as much as the 40-year-old.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That was special for sure.
that was cool.
Yeah.
So then.
Yeah, man. I don't know. For some reason, for me, this year just feels like it literally just flew by. Like I can't. It's so unclear. The fact that you're like, oh, we did NBA. Was it NBA?
That was NBA. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like that was like years ago.
Nah.
And I'm just like, shit. That was this year.
You're about to drop another NBA collection.
It's coming out.
Oh.
Coming out.
But I thought what was unique, you did the NBA thing. I thought the summer assortment was pretty amazing. I think it showed a lot of growth between the PT shorts, getting into things like the short sleeve, like Rocky inspired hoodie, the thin thermal, you know, and then moving forward into like actually creating a collection for holiday.
Yeah.
You know, which that was the first time I think we've ever stopped, pulled all the way back,
Yeah.
looked at everything that we were making, the color assortment, and created a real collection around
Yeah.
around that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, definitely different, but
So I've come from a place of shooting seasonal lookbooks, collections.
yeah.
For you being on the production side, and obviously brand managing and everything, but that was a first for you, correct?
Yeah,
to step into that.
For sure.
Uh,
It's
you-
weird
Why is that?
because I have to like save a bunch of stuff and put it together. I'm just
Yeah.
like, can we just put it on the site, man?
Yeah.
Like we just finished this thing. So it's definitely because I don't come from that. I come from a manufacturing background. So like the way I operate is like get it made and get it out.
Yeah.
Like don't sit on anything, you know?
So that was the first time you had to really be patient for
Yeah,
a second
for
and
sure.
say,
Yeah.
all right, this is going to put together this cohesive collection, the colors, the assortment. I got to get like a theme for the lookbook, the right models, how you're going to document it, how you're going to roll it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was well received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
No, good job
That's
for
all
you.
you.
So that's holiday. Now, by the time this comes out, what do you think the standard issue? What are you going to finish up 22 with?
we got some amazing. So for me personally, my favorite piece from everything that we do is the slacker pant.
Gotcha.
Like I think there's just something very special about the pant, and we have, and I don't think we've done it in a while. So we have an assortment of good
Printed stuff.
printed and
Patterns. I'm sorry, not printed.
yeah,
patterns.
Um,
Patterns made up of different fabrics.
Yes, different type of fabric, different content. So I think that would be a good way to say goodbye to 2022, and then walk into 2023 with a big question mark on our heads.
Yeah, but we have something for the
We got-
beginning of 23.
We do.
But what he's leaving out though is for 22 we have our second NBA collection.
Oh yes,
dropping.
I thought we said that.
Yeah, but I thought you were going to touch on it some
Oh,
more.
okay. Yeah, so yeah.
You were when you were talking about the slacker. I thought you were about to segue
Oh.
into it because the first time was a cardigan and a sweatpant. This time is a
Cardigan and slacker.
Yep.
And we're also gonna be in 4 stadiums:
It will be available in
the Lakers, Clippers, Cavs, and Bucks.
Bucks. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, 4 of the most competitive franchises in NBA
Especially
history,
right now, too,
champions.
right
So
They're doing well.
it's a good time to be in. So yeah, if you're in Cleveland, if you're in Milwaukee, if you're in Los Angeles, both the Clippers and the Lakers, at the crypto
Arena.
arena. How is it the crypto arena? Isn't crypto isn't it very low right now?
They got money.
But yeah, if you're in one of those 4 organizations, and then also in addition to that, we will have the Boston Celtics, the dreaded Boston Celtics, one of my least favorite but respected franchises. Philadelphia 76ers.
Of course.
Who else we got? The
Warriors.
of Golden State.
And we can't forget the Suns.
And can't forget the Suns. Yep. Shout to CJ Paul. Shouts to Chris Paul. Shout to Courtney Mays. So we're gonna do this. Jarod, this was something that he was on my head to do, and I got a big ass mouth. I like talking to people. I've been getting in trouble for talking too much since I was a little kid, But I like sitting in this, in these intimate settings, having conversations with people. So we're gonna do this. We have a crazy film production staff now.
Yep.
We got Shure microphones. We got headphones. I can't promise you every time I'll have Jarod here. I'm gonna try to get him in as much as I can.
This is a rare sighting.
So, but we thank you for sitting down with us and listening. This was, we just want to offer more in terms of like, and we actually we have other people that work with us. We've got production people. We've got sewers everyone has been here. We've only lost one employee since I've started here in March of 2018. And, and losing her was like a shock because I thought, man, she's going to be part of the team. But she had aspirations for other things. And obviously she had our support and blessings. And, she's an awesome person. Janet, we miss you.
Yes.
So we do want to make it a point, but just to show and give some more insight into what goes on here at our Vernon, California facility where we make everything. So thank you guys for listening. We promise there will be more. We're going to keep these up. Try to do 1 or 2 a month, depending upon, how much our director and producer, Tyler, can take of us, how sick of he gets of us. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and God bless you. Have a great holiday.
Thank you.
Take care.